At the X, it's Jake Hervada for Delaware and Towson's Alex Woodall. And the big man, number 3, Woodall with the win at X. He's 6 feet, 227 pounds. Towson has the game's first possession. Tigers this year average 9 goals per game, even. That's 4th best in the conference. As the Poles' Sid Yule, who served a 2-game suspension earlier in the season, he's playing some LSM for Sean Nadelin. Flips off to Richmond transfer John-Luke Chetner. 55 in the white. This is the 60th all-time meeting between Towson and Delaware. Tigers have won 6 of the last 7. First time these two are meeting in the conference tournament since the 2010 championship game. And Steve, as we saw last year, Towson yet again drew Drexel, a team they've seen each of the last 4 years in the tournament. So some new blood in the semifinals for the Tigers. But regardless, a team that's been there, nearly plucked away from Monahan. Scoops it up and misfires. Freshman Timmy Monahan for Towson. What do you make of the Delaware defense early?
Right there, nice check from Duff, able to put the ball on the ground. Couldn't come away with the ground ball, but they're a big, long, and rangy defense. They do a good job of getting their sticks into passing lanes. Can get lost a little bit off ball, so they've got to be alert off ball because Towson is a patient offense, and they'll take advantage of that.
Towson regathers as we're more than 90 seconds into the opening quarter. Chetner whistles a pass to his left to Matt Severo. Fires on, DeLuca almost lost it, down to a knee, and he scrapes it in for Delaware.
And DeLuca's the key for them tonight. He sets the tone. He's their energy guy. He's going to have a big game for them and make some big, tough saves if Delaware's going to have a shot here tonight. Again, he's their energy guy. He's the spark. He gets them going.
Should see a long drought for Delaware getting back in this tournament. Their legendary head coach, Bob Schillinglaw, retired at the end of last year. Ben DeLuca in his first season has done a remarkable job to get this team back to conference play, tournament-wise. Delaware's second best in the conference, 10.77 goals per. Nice flip underneath by D. Simone, and the shot missed wide by Charlie Kitchen. Towson was first to get there.
Gotta have backup, gotta keep your offense balanced, have someone behind the goal or ready to make that sprint to the end line, especially when Kitchener is getting ready to shoot. He's their top offensive guy. Gotta be prepared for him to take shots.
Kitchen led the conference in goals this year. Bit of a battle this year with Hofstra's Ryan Tierney as far as which sophomore had the best non-sophomore slump in their second season. Grant Maloof. Up top to Cole Robertson, a senior. Shot on goal and a score. Brendan Sunday streaking down the left alley, and the Tigers have the first score of semifinal number 2.
Just a simple alley dodge here. Gets some space, gets his hands free, and able to put it past DeLuca right here. Just a nice alley dodge. Defenseman's just got to get to his hands there. He's got to get a little bit more physical, try to get to his hip and drive him. And again, try to get to his hands, try to get a lift on that bottom hand, take a little bit off of that shot. DeLuca was in the right position, just was a little late.
Sunday beat Zach Strasner, a sophomore for Delaware. Sunday's been in and out of the starting lineup throughout the course of the season. He did start a couple of weeks ago in the Tigers' big win over Ohio State at the Shoe. And as we talked about in game 1, both of these programs, Delaware and Towson, had challenging non-conference schedules to get themselves geared up for a potential conference tournament run. Tigers up 1-0. They finished this season with an 8-7 win over Fairfield. That game was tied up 6-6 going to the fourth. Towson playing for their tournament lives, if you can believe that. Just edging Fairfield. Delaware beat Drexel 17-8, their largest scoring output of the 2018 season. Here's Chetner. He's got the matchup with Liam Duff, plucked out. Duff, the long pole with the ground ball.
Both teams are gonna have to figure out the footing here. Obviously, we had that rain right before the game, not raining now, but something to watch. Guys slipping, guys falling, changing direction. Gotta get their footing right.
I think even better news, there was no delay
Yes.
between games, given there was a wait because of the first game, but no longer than the normally scheduled time.
We had some good food, though, between games. All right, we'll take a break.
We're fueled up. Let's see if the players keep it up. Will Hirschman fired on, missed it wide. And Towson is there for the ground ball. They can transition. Monahan, the two-way midi, gets it up to Kobe Smith, a CAA second-teamer as a freshman this year. Malouf's got plenty of daylight. Malouf dodging down and decides to hold on to the ball as a flag comes in. Towson sideline likes what they saw. So we might see the Tigers man up in just a moment. Jake McLean has the pole and Duff defending. Tigers with the lead, 1-0. Thanks to Brendan Sunday. McLean. Dish to Malouf, they work it around. Sunday draws a double. Now it's Malouf, blast it wide. And we'll get the penalty officially now. Towson with the extra man.
Blue, number 3, slash, 1 minute.
John Hill is our referee, Matthew Croto is our umpire, and field judge is John Talmo. So it's Austin Haynes.
Towson, not a great man-up unit, only about 24% on the season. Not great statistically. See what they could do here with 9 minutes left in the first.
There you see, 25%. Fifth in the conference, Delaware tied for first in the CAA on killing the man up. 73%. Up top, Malouf save as DeLuca brings it in. But he makes a poor pass trying to clear the ball. Delaware did stick with it. That was Rhett Schweitzer, a junior, a local product from Newark.
And DeLuca, the big goalie, over 6 foot, all over that high shot. Kid's got great reflexes.
St. Jem, the midi, reeled in though by Brennan. Both goalies with heads on their swivel, the head on their swivel right now. As we are about midway through the first. Chetner operates behind the cage. Goal line extended for Towson. Teams are back to even strength.
Take a look at the last save from Brennan. Does a nice job in great position there. Able to get across, off hip there. Nice save from Brennan.
Severo, a two-way midi, 12 in the white for Towson. Dropped it off to Frommert. A redshirt freshman, Luke Frommert, earning CAA Rookie of the Week a week ago. And DeLuca with the slide to his right. Reels in that ball, another save for the sophomore.
DeLuca off to a good start here. Seeing the ball pretty well. Delaware's played a lot of defense. Need a nice long possession here. Give your guys a break at the other end and try to work for a good shot. Haven't had really any good opportunities yet offensively. And again, have played a lot of defense here in the first quarter.
2 saves for DeLuca. Brennan had his first save a moment ago. Kitchen loops it out. He is 6 in the blue. Roaming behind the cage. DeSimone has Wilkerson defending him. Wilkerson knocked it out. A caused turnover, and he gets it to Brennan, and Towson can clear. Nice play here by Wilkerson.
He does a nice job in great position. All takeaway checks usually start with good position. Does a nice job, gets him going to X, and he just mishandles it. Good job, though. Again, great position. Good job getting on his hip and forcing him to X, forcing him behind the goal.
Wilkerson, a junior from Huntingtown, Maryland. A key starter for most of the season. Did not play much last year. We have about 5.5 left in the opening quarter. Sunday scored in the opening minutes for the Tigers. They try to sneak one underneath DeLuca, and he fell on top of it, scoops it up. Towson's come close on the last couple of shots, but DeLuca has had a strong start despite the early goal. Now there are a few pulls in there for Towson as they break it up. Guess who? The Defensive Player of the Year, Zach Goodrich. On the spin, it's McLean. He gives it right back to Hofstra.
And DeLuca looking like the guy in our first game, Concan, making some big saves. Again, his team is playing a lot of defense, but he's been there to make the stops for him and keep him in this game.
Delaware's got the ball back. Dean DeSimone from West Deptford, New Jersey. Senior's got it now behind the cage. An all-conference first-team selection. DeSimone spinning around and scoring in front. Tied at 1 late in the first.
DeSimone does a nice job here getting topside. Takes those extra few steps to increase his angle, and that's what leads to this goal. Little two-man game. Does a nice job there, getting left-handed, gets topside, able to beat the goalie, Brennan. Just a little communication error there on Towson's part. That guy who set the pick, you actually have to step out and show yourself to slow down that Dodger coming off of the pick. Or you got to have a slide ready from the crease, but either way, DeSimone does a nice job of creating a shot and finishing it.
24th of the season, which is 3rd best on the team. DeSimone's 3rd year with the program. Last year, he did not play with Delaware. 2 years ago, he played in 11 games, 12 goals, 10 assists to rack up 22 points. Did you know he's Joe Flacco's cousin?
Really?
Flacco, the former great Delaware quarterback.
Wow. Did not know.
I
Now I know.
Joe ought to be worried, though, with the Lamar Jackson pick. That's for another time.
Guaranteed Super Bowls, isn't he? Multiple.
Tied at 1. 2 and 3 seeds battling. Delaware and Towson. Severo snapped it wide. I mean, you look up and down this Towson lineup. It's been the next man up mentality throughout the course of the season. One of their best middies/attackmen, John Mazza, remains suspended. Suspended back on April 2nd. Sean Nadelin told Ed Lee of the Baltimore Sun that it was due to a violation of team rules. Mazza, one of the top scorers from last year's team. It's been by committee, and Severo's been one that's risen. DeLuca with the stop shoulder high. Steven Totora loops it ahead to Kitchen. And Delaware can set up. Kitchen with the dodge. Wide. Pieda's got it now for Delaware. Mark Pieda, a freshman from Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Towson been playing 5-on-5 all night.
Hirschman on the run, puts it in from deep. Delaware's got its first lead of the CAA tournament.
Hirschman, one of their offensive leaders. One of the Towson coaches called him the heart and soul of their offense. The guy that gets them going. And right here, another pick. Just a little pick that Towson doesn't play extremely well. And Hirschman's able to finish it left-handed. So if you're Towson defensively, you got to start to talk through these picks. Let them know, the guy that's getting picked, that the pick is coming. And again, you got to step out, show yourself, and take away that dodger. But so far, Delaware's done a nice job in this two-man game. It's led to 2 goals for him.
While Kitchen does a bulk of the goal scoring for Delaware, Hirschman's often responsible for settling everybody down. Off the scrum on the wing, they get the ground ball. Kitchen falling down, he got the dish to the doorstep. Pieta was intended, back to Towson. As Gray Bowden sends it over the timeline. And Grant Maloof can set up the offense for the Tigers.
And I think Hervada should have just shot that ball. Nobody really showed to him. He was about 8-10 yards out. Should have just let that one rip. Sometimes you got to be a little selfish, especially when no one picks you up. Got to be a threat with the ball in your stick.
That was Hervada's first initial win at the X tonight. Woodall for Towson has won 3 of 4 faceoffs. 80 seconds to play in the first. Sunday flips it underneath. Room to shoot. Knocked out. A good look for Cole Robertson. And Delaware was there first to back up.
Take a look here again at the save from DeLuca. Not much of an angle. He's in good position, covering that pipe. Doesn't give him that far pipe to shoot at. Kind of baits him to the near side there and able to make the save.
Delaware aims to have the final possession of the quarter. DeSimone, Hirschman, and Bryce Reed on the perimeter of the box. Reed cradles underneath, goal line extended. Sets up shop for the Blue Hens. Goodrich, the shorty, defending. Reed flips it. They skip to Hirschman. 10 seconds to go. Hirschman, the dish. Now it's up top. Pieta shot, missiled wide. Kitchen there to back it up. 5 seconds to work with. Kitchen around. Shot never got in deep. Brennan not needed. Towson's defense holds up. Low scoring first quarter at the end of one. Delaware with 2 straight goals after Towson opened up the scoring. It's 2-1 Blue Hens at the end of one here in CAA tournament semifinal number 2. The first goal put in here by DeSimone, and then it's the captain Hirschman from distance. Come back for the second quarter of semifinal number 2 after the break. He's listed at 6'6", 225. Had 5 saves in that first quarter. I would say that is big.
That classifies as big.
Alex Woodall winning the opening draw of quarter number 2. Steve mentioned there was rain shortly before the face-off of this one. Haven't seen any slippages yet outside some scrums where 2 guys are literally fighting for the ball, but something to keep an eye out. No rain fell in that first quarter. Chetner from out deep missed it wide left. Towson gets the first shot, and there is a freshman, Phil Weiss, who grabs it. An all-rookie selection in the CAA. You see Tigers and Sean Nadel in 7 years, 7 conference tournaments. Looking to go to their 4th straight tournament title game. And from out deep, Chetner, try number 2 is money. 16th of the year for the redshirt senior and transfer from Richmond.
Just simple offense from Towson. You take a look here, just steps down. If you're Delaware defensively, you just got to get out to that shooter. You got to show him a little bit more respect. Obviously, you have a lot of trust in your goalie, but that's a simple shot that you could take away, again, just by stepping out, getting in that shooting lane or getting to his hands and turn that guy into a dodger instead of a shooter.
Chetner, a Canadian star at the Hill Academy in British Columbia. Brought his talents to the States. He did not play last year with Richmond, 2 years back. 9 goals, 18 assists to add up to 27 points for the Spiders in the Southern Conference. And his spark has been needed in his first season with this team with championship pedigree. Towson is back on offense after the Woodall win it draw. Monahan got the flip from Sunday. Nice tight defense here by St. Jem. The two-way midi. Forced turnover by the long pole, Austin Haynes.
Really nice play from Haynes. He sat on that like a cornerback in football, read it the whole way, had a nice break on it, and able to pick it off. Really nice play from Haynes.
He's been extremely consistent both ways for the Blue Hens in his career. Leads Delaware in caused turnovers with 22. Even at 2. Winner takes on top seed UMass on Saturday. DeSimone backtracks. Chetner and Goodrich smothering the top here for the Towson defense. Hirschman to DeSimone.
Towson playing hands, forcing guys to their weak hand, even if that means letting them go to the middle of the field. Obviously, they don't think that these Delaware shooters can shoot very well with their offhand, because again, they're forcing them to spots on the field that you usually don't feel comfortable with. But again, they're just playing hands, making them go to their weak hand, all these Dodgers.
Look at Sid Yule scampering in to pluck that ball away as Towson is clearing with Livingston. Sean Nadelin's key year after year defensively is always just play together. He keeps it very simple.
Take a look at this replay here. Driving, trying to get top side. Might have drawn a penalty there. Refs letting them play, which you appreciate. And then a nice job by Brennan checking that stick and allowing his guy to pick it up. And now we got Towson possession.
They've kept the sophomore Charlie Kitchen scoreless, as we saw in game 1. Ryan Tierney, a stud sophomore for Hofstra, could not put one home. DeLuca on a second effort with an incredible stop. Weiss had the rebound, and DeLuca stayed tight to the cage.
And that's the save of the game right now. That's an unbelievable save. He's down, able to get back up. Just again shows you his reflexes. He gets the balls that most guys can't get to. Really nice save from DeLuca.
We were talking between games too with Jack and Cannon officially out of the conference, graduating this upcoming year. This could be Matt DeLuca's conference as far as who's the best in cage.
Yeah, absolutely, and different games too. Different styles. He plays off a high energy. He's one of those guys that likes to come out of the net, chase the ball to the end line. He's always pumping his fist, where Concannon's a little more under control, stays within himself. So two different guys go about it different ways, but both are effective in how they get it done.
6 saves for DeLuca. These two teams met 13 days ago in regular season play, their second to last conference game, and Towson got the win at home 13-7. Overall, Towson's dominated the series. 6 of the last 7 have gone the Tigers' way. Under 10 to play in the first half. Delaware certainly not just happy to be here. They're looking to make a run to the championship for the first time in 7 years.
First stall call of the game.
Pieta with the miss. 48 on the door. New sequence here for the Blue Hens. Pieta, the freshman, trying to body Livingston. Shot on. Brennan looks up. The whistle goes their way. Might have been a violation there by Pieta.
Good defense right there by Livingston. Just squeezes him. Knows that he can't step in the crease, the offensive player, so he squeezes him, forces him to that low angle, creates the turnover. So good job, good positional defense from Livingston. Turnover, here comes Delaware.
Multiple sticks, rising, knocking at the ball. And Joe Isley pulled away, and then a whistle. Ben DeLuca calls timeout. Nope, not the case. So we have a look from what happened a moment ago.
And right there again, Livingston just taking away the angle, not letting him get topside, squeezing him, using that crease to his benefit as a defenseman, forcing him there, and again, creating that turnover.
So Delaware catches a break, no timeout. Under 8:40 left in the half. It's 2-2. Chetner with the last goal for Towson. DeSimone, flip to Hirschman. Dangerous from out deep. Ewell defending. The feed and a score. Joe Isley. A lot of attention on Hirschman. Isley opened his eyes, fired and put it home. Blue Hens have the lead.
Good team offense from Delaware. Isley able to finish. We take a look at the replay. Starts with the dodge from Hirschman, draws the double, and then Isley just gets into a good spot, steps down, gets his hands back, and lets it fly.
Junior from Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. Did have a goal against Towson a few weeks back when they met. Down here for Isley as far as goals. He had 27 last year, but up to 19. Of course, team success is the top priority. As McLean, the two-way midi for Towson, gets it over the line. Hirschman's been everywhere. Nice assist, and he's also got the goal.
He was one of the guys that the Towson staff really wanted to focus on, was really concerned with him coming into the game. Thought he was their playmaker, their engine, the guy that kind of got them going offensively, their quarterback. And so far, he's done a nice job here tonight.
Yeah, while Kitchen does lead the team in assists, Hirschman's not too far behind. Both are now even with 14 assists this year. The true quarterback of that offense, if you will, is indeed the captain, Will Hirschman. Reigning Conference Player of the Week after a great game to close out the season against Drexel. Sunday, weaving for Willem, bounce shot! That one slips home, and we're tied at 3. Trickery out of Sunday.
And just a great shot from Sunday. Didn't want to put it in his opposite hand. You see this shot, it's more and more common in lacrosse, you usually see it when guys come from behind the net and don't want to go to their weak hand, but right here you're going to see him gets top side here, gets to the middle of the field, little rocker step there, and again, doesn't put it in his left, able to finish it underhand, right-handed. Really nice shot from Sunday.
He drew 2 long poles as well. And Hervada no longer at X. That's Joe Lenscold who comes in for Delaware against Alex Woodall, because there has been no solution for the Blue Hens during faceoff so far. It's been all Woodall. He's won 7 of the 8. Lenscold just fell in that battle. So we're tied at 3 more than midway through the second. Delaware, first time in the CAA tournament since 2014. And the Blue Hens are trying to get back to the title game for the first time since 2011 when they won it. Towson certainly not happy to be here as Jafrida backs up that miss. Weiss comes up firing, falling down. The Tigers, 7 straight conference tournaments. They're looking to make it 4 straight tournament title game appearances. And most importantly, win their 4th straight. What a slithering shot there by Sunday. He's had the quick trigger.
Delaware's got to do a better job of forcing these Towson Dodgers to better spots on the field. They're getting top side, they're getting to the middle of the field. Got to do a better job of getting down the alley and getting them going towards X.
And a timeout for Sean Nadalin and company with his team tied up in this spot, 3-3. Well, hey, let's look at the Tigers. Again, we talked about the suspension of some of their players earlier in the season. This team, 3-0 at home during conference play, 0-2 on the road. So their overall road record this year is 1-5. 6 double-digit goal scorers this year. That's crucial considering they lost 6 of their top 7 from last year. Grant Maloof and John Mazza, who we spoke on, is still suspended. Towson outscored its opponents by 15 at home, and they've gotten a nice emergence out of the net by goalie Shane Brennan. He allowed the 2nd fewest goals in conference play. As you see there, the signature win over Ohio State earlier in the season. They played Denver this year. They played Duke at home. They played Hopkins on the road to open the season. I mean, constantly they do this to get ready for this spot.
Yeah, and you talked about all the guys they had to replace and all the guys they lost, you know, coming off of a Final Four season.
Certainly, yeah.
So obviously an unbelievable team last year, had a great season, and then you lose all those guys, have a little bit maybe of a Final Four hangover that you got to recover from. So give these guys credit, though. Coach Nad's got these guys, he's righted the ship here. He's got them back into the CAA, you know, back in as a 2 seed, and they got as good a shot as anybody to come away and get back to that NCAA tournament. And for a team like this, with the confidence they have from last year's experience, you just got to get into it, and then you got a shot.
Well, certainly when you look back at the end of their non-conference schedule and their first CAA game, they played number 3 Duke at home, lost by 2. Then they went to Denver and lost by 1 in overtime. Hofstra blows them out 9-3. Here are the last 5 men's lacrosse champions of the CAA. As you see, it's been Towson 4 of the last 5 years. And they'll look to make it 4 in a row and 5 of the last 6. Should they have a chance to rematch with UMass. Those 2 teams met in last year's title game. We'll have more on that later on. As a shot comes firing in there from Monahan, the freshman, or pardon, the junior from Bethesda, a Maryland transfer. Timmy Monahan plays some midi-end attack. Sunday trying to scrape through on Haynes. Feeds to Severo. Now, when Towson lost at Hofstra, that was an eye-opener, considering they played so tight with Duke and Denver. But the Tigers did rebound, and here they are, the 2 seed. Plenty of experience with that coaching staff and some of the personnel. Mid-air shot, Monahan tried to put it home on the right side as DeLuca leaned to his left.
Never really caught it, Monahan. He went for that, you know, that hockey quick stick. Never really controlled it in the head of his stick, and that's why it kind of looked like that. If he was able to catch that, he probably would have buried it.
tied at 3, under 5 to play in the first half. Talked about Towson struggles in the non-conference. Delaware lost its final 5 non-conference games. But again, against tough teams, Rutgers, Johns Hopkins, 2 respectable opponents in the Big Ten. DeSimone working to the goal line. Kitchen has yet to score. He's got the long pole and Yule defending tightly. Now it's Hirschman with Bowden. Here's the pick. Hirschman about to shoot. Whistle blows.
Got him on a moving pick. Towson here tonight, a lot of times have, during the 6-on-6 set, have locked off a Delaware player and actually played 5-on-5. Not sure what the thinking is there, but usually you want to play 6-on-6. The more guys you have defensively, the better, but they've played a lot 5-on-5 here, and not even really locking off one of the better players, one of the star players on this Delaware offense, just kind of picking guys randomly and choosing to play 5-on-5.
Both teams have 5 turnovers in this first half. That was one of Sean Nadelin's keys coming in off the Fairfield when his team turned the ball over 20 times, which is just unfathomable when you think about a Sean Nadelin coach team. Delaware thinking the same as Monahan flips to Maloof. Open space! Kabang, a score for Grant Maloof. And Towson reclaims the lead.
And Maloof here, if you take a look at this replay, just a little stutter step there, a little rocker step, able to get to his hand. I've talked about it here tonight with Delaware. Defensively, they got to do a better job with their breakdowns. You see right there, out of position, you got to approach the ball better, and you got to force these guys to better spots on the field. So far, their approaches, their breakdowns have been slightly off. And again, these Towson Dodgers have gotten to where they've wanted to get to offensively, and that's what's led to a lot of these goals here.
He's another player who you might not recognize from last year's Final Four team. Maloof did not play due to injury. But again, he's been plugged into this Sean Nadelin offense. And once again, Towson produces. Kobe Smith was streaking in, big guy in 54. Comes off the field. It's back to Chetner as we have 3 minutes to play. Towson with the lead. Tigers are the 2 seed, Blue Hens are the 3 seed. Chetner with Duff following him closely. Swing to Severo. Weiss has his lane shut down. Maloof on the right side this time. Maloof crashing in. Dish underneath over the crossbar. Severo fires in, save DeLuca. Number 8 of the half for the sophomore, Matt DeLuca. I asked you the same question about Ryan Tierney for Hofstra in the first half. What is Towson doing well to shut down Charlie Kitchen?
Team defense. You know, they've shown a lot of attention to him when he's dodged. He's seen the help coming. They haven't had to slide much to him and get into a rotation and recovery mode. But, you know, team defense, and again, showing to him, and the guy guarding him is doing a great job one-on-one and taking away some of his strengths.
The CAA's leading goal scorer with none in the first half early. Broken up by Kobe Smith, racing for it. Sunday's trying to help him out at midfield. Pulled away by Isley. Minute 15 to go in the half. Hey, coming up, don't want to miss our exclusive interview with CAA Commissioner Joe D'Antonio, second-year commissioner of the conference. Joined us earlier today as Ewell pokes it around with his feet. Haynes follows suit. Hirschman comes away with it, doing it both ways as Ewell and Livingston chase. 45 seconds now in the half. Feed, Beta, shot. Oh, he tried to go for the top window, and it didn't go. Bryce Reed, Isley had the look. And Sean Nadalin sprints all the way in front of the Hofstra bench and calls timeout. Well, maybe the biggest surprise this year in the CAA was Ben DeLuca's job at the helm in Delaware. His first season taking over for a legend in Bob Schillinglaw. In his first season, Ben DeLuca led this Blue Hens team to the CAA tournament for the first time in 3 years. As you have a closer look at this Delaware team and how this team got there throughout the course of the season. They lost their final 5 non-conference games. They went 3-2 in conference play. We talked about the suspensions Towson had. Well, they dismissed 4 players, including their leading scorer from last year, Andrew Romagnoli. He only played a handful of games. He scored 34 goals last year. DeLuca has played outstanding to give them a chance in all of their games. Kind of a similar story to Hofstra and Jack and Cannon. Credit to Delaware. I mean, you lose those last 5, and again, they played some really good teams, Steve. They played Rutgers, Hopkins, also Villanova that was 7th in the country at the time. Found themselves in the tournament.
Well, I think Coach DeLuca injected some energy into a program. You know, obviously when you're there for that long as a coach like Schillinglaw was, you know, sometimes a change, you know, even though he did a great job and is an absolute legend there, but sometimes a change is good. You get fresh blood, young guy in there. DeLuca, you know, he's got unbelievable resume. I mean, he did a great job at Cornell, then went down to Duke, helped those guys out. He's been in the Final Fours. He's coached in every big situation you can coach, and he's coached under some great coaches in Danowski and Tambroni. So he's got a lot of experience as a head coach. And again, he's come in here, he's injected some energy into this program. And I think Delaware is one of those places. It's in a great place geographically.
Sure.
It's a good school. It's in a good conference. I think he could do a really nice job here and take this program to heights maybe that hasn't been to.
Perfect situation for he and his wife, Lori Tortorelli, a former All-American at Delaware back in the late 90s to early 2000s. So she has a chance to go back near campus. DeLuca from Rochester, New York. He's just the 9th head coach in the program's 70-year history. You saw his record at Cornell, 37-11. Well, he also played there as well, and he was a pretty good player. Hirschman with the ball, one of his captains. 12 seconds left in the first half. 1 goal lead for Towson. Snapped away by Brennan on Hirschman's rocket. 5 seconds, Brennan airs it. And on the feed, Haynes chases it down as it bounces up against the fence. 30 minutes have gone by now. Here in half number 1. Towson with the lead 4-3. Start of the third quarter at Garber Field in Amherst. Towson with the 4-3 lead. Ben DeLuca trying to get this team back to the conference championship game for the first time since 2011. In his first year, that would be quite the accomplishment. Steve, how about a key for each of these teams as we get geared up for the second half? You expect a lower scoring half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be just like we saw in the first half, but a couple keys. Delaware. See what they're doing right here, face-off, double polling up. They've got to tie up Woodall. They've got to create a 50-50 ground ball situation. They've got to figure out the face-off X. Obviously, they're not going to win a majority of them, but they just got to win a few. And if you're Towson, I think offensively, it's about ball possession, basically what you've done in the first half. I wouldn't change much if I'm Towson. Just keep playing the way you're playing. I think overall they did a pretty nice job in all aspects. Maybe the only thing better would be maybe shot selection and trying to change the angles of your stick when shooting on DeLuca and try to go low on him. You know, being 6'6", he's all over those high saves.
Good start for the Blue Hens. They win the first face-off of the second half. Alex Woodall's numbers against this Delaware team over his career with Towson, outstanding. The tally now is 42 of 53 in his career against the Blue Hens. And that's in 3 regular season games, including today. Again, these two have not met in the conference tournament since 2010, the title game, which Delaware won. Kitchen, conference's leading goal scorer, has Ewell all over him. The team defense good for Towson. Kitchen trying to work it into the kitchen. Not the case. On the doorstop, knocked out. This is Wilkerson. Here comes the midi for Towson. And a caused turnover gives the Tigers their first solid possession of half number 2. Between Ewell and Wilkerson and Bowden. This defense of Sean Nadelin's, year after year, finds ways to produce caused turnovers.
They've always had talented short stick D middies at Towson.
Goodrich as well.
Big, physical, can run, and when you have guys like that, it's like having another pole on the field, because most offenses want to attack those short sticks. But when you got shut down short stick defenders, it changes how you play defense, and it changes teams, how they try to attack you.
Sunday has wiggle room, and he's got a hat trick. Two-goal lead for Towson.
Another example of Delaware letting these Towson Dodgers get to good spots on the field. They had him going down the alley originally, and then he rolls back. Watch this. Got to keep him there. You want to stay on his hip. You want to keep him going to his left hand. As soon as he rolls back, now he's seeing the entire 6x6. This is a great view right here. Watch this. Now he increases his angle. He sees the entire net, and he could shoot anywhere. If you keep him going down the alley and you keep him going left-handed, every step he takes, he loses an angle. So you got to force him down the side, and you can't allow him to roll back to the middle of the field.
Rolled right by Zach Strasner, sophomore defenseman for Delaware. Violation at the X by Hervada, who is back in. We saw Joe Lenscold, a freshman, take a couple of draws at the end of that first half to give Woodall a different look. And Hervada commits the violation, so Towson wins another draw. Now, you've talked about the Towson defense, rotating great player after great player in on the short stick side. Last year they had the CAA's Defensive Player of the Year in Tyler Mays. This year they got it again in Zach Goodrich. Bounce shot, Chetner, bounce wide. Racing forward is Severo, and it stays with the Tigers.
Well, it helps when you have a guy like Sean Nadel and Dan Kachi as your defensive coaches. 2 great players, 2 great teachers of the game. No defense as well as anyone, so when those guys work together, definitely gives their players an advantage.
Maloof attempted bottom shelf. DeLuca plows it out of there. 9 saves for the sophomore. Yeah, Dan Kachi, Towson grad, 2003. Sean Nadelin went to Johns Hopkins. It's part of that great run in the early 2000s. Seth Tierney actually coached Sean Nadelin for a year, the Hofstra head coach.
Played with both those guys. They learned everything from me. And I'm taking full credit for these guys.
Wow. If only they knew you just said that.
Hopefully they will. I'll get a nice text.
Delaware possession. Once again, he's Steve Panarelli, former Syracuse All-American.
Tell you what, though, 2 great teammates. Both guys.
Yeah. And you've played with them. You played with Sean indoor as well.
Correct. Yeah. Both just, not selfish at all. Not finger pointers. Just great guys to play with. Selfless. Two of the better teammates I had an opportunity to play with at the pro level.
Kitchen had his first really good look as Hirschman dumps to the doorstep, trying to fling inside. That was Delaware. They will back it up. Excuse me. That was Kitchen. Isley had the shot off the Hirschman dish. Just 1 penalty in that first half. We have not had many stoppages. Kitchen sends to Hirschman. DeSimone, feed, Brennan working down to both knees. Piles that one up.
And Towson was playing a little bit of a zone there, almost like a matchup zone. First time we've seen that tonight from him. Delaware went to like a motion offense, try to get guys to step down and find some creases, but Towson going to a zone there, mixing things up, keeping this Delaware offense guessing.
Under 10 left of the third. Jake McLean, 6 in the white, sophomore for Towson. Another player who did not start at the beginning of the season has emerged as a starter for Sean Nadelin. Over to help the captain, Cole Robertson. Ryan Shaw defending McLean now. Towson graduated 11 seniors from last year's Final Four team. Plugging guys in and out of the lineup throughout the course of the season. And they're trying to make another run and win another conference tournament for the 4th straight year. Weiss, bounce shot to Luca with an excellent save. Squeezing the knees together. And he's there to help out on the clear. Duff trying to roam away now. Both goalies are playing tremendous in this third quarter.
We've seen good goalie play in all of these games so far. Each goalie has really shown up here tonight and played extremely well.
Just a 2-goal game here in Amherst. Towson scored the last 3 of this contest. Delaware has not scored in almost a full quarter's worth, 15 minutes. Kitchen with Wilkerson defending. He's got that matchup for most of this quarter now. Much less of Kitchen underneath. Instead, he's playing on this near side wing. Trying to give this Towson D a different look. Kitchen, goal line extended, has it back. Ball movement continues for the Blue Hens. Isley, now to Hirschman. Wonder if the clock will turn on soon as Beta, with Patterson coming up, pass outside, got knocked out, Ewell draping. Hirschman got the deflection. That should give Delaware a breather. Nope, not the case, shot clock's on.
Towson playing again that zone, matchup zone here. Help from both sides. Delaware has not had an answer for it the last 2 trips down, getting the shot clock warning.
Down to 10. DeSimone, feed by Hirschman, soars over the head of Beta, and a turnover by Delaware.
And that zone is confusing this Delaware offense. You can see they're completely taken out of their rhythm, having a hard time trying to figure this thing out. Key with the zone is you got to be a threat with the ball on your stick. You got to make those guys come out and play, who step out of their respected zones, and then it's about ball movement, and you got to be patient. Look for skips, but right now they look out of sync. Towson's kind of figured something out that's working against them.
It's now 7 turnovers for Delaware. 6:30 to play in the third. Delaware this season was the 2nd best team in the conference as far as least turnovers committed per game. Just 10.8. Hofstra was first. And the Pride had its fair share of turnovers in game number 1 tonight. That was a 10-6 final. UMass is awaiting the winner of this one for Saturday's championship game. 1 o'clock Eastern right here in LSN.
Shot clock, where is it? Where is it?
Monahan gets a pick from Maloof. Threw it down, but it's snatched out by a Delaware defender. That was Rhett Schweitzer, the Newark native himself, with a crucial cause turnover.
Delaware's done a nice job of that tonight, being in passing lanes. Their sticks have been active. We talked about at the outset that they're a long, rangy defense, able to pick off passes. Picked off a few here tonight already.
They're working it in quickly here as DeSimone blopped it in out in front, knocked out by, guess who, Wilkerson again. Feed to Weiss, Towson's off and running. Their sideline has remained jolted throughout the course of the night. Delaware's trying to catch some sort of rhythm. They give it back to the Tigers. Chetner searching for breathing room. Swings to Maloof.
Well, what's happened to him is obviously the face-offs, haven't gone their way, so that gives Towson a ton of possession. And now that they've thrown the zone, they can't figure it out. So you put those two things together, it's tough to get into a rhythm offensively and get anything going. Lack of possession, and then seeing a defense that maybe you weren't prepared for or ready to see here tonight.
DeLuca gazes on at that ball that zips by him. Wide, that is. Towson does clear. Tigers won it last year, a couple of wins in the NCAA tournament over Penn State. It pains us to say Syracuse, both of us being alums. And then eventually falling to Ohio State, a rematch from what was a matchup in March on a Wednesday afternoon due to a snow out. Turns out the Buckeyes fell to Maryland in a Big Ten national championship. Working to his left, Grant Maloof tallies his second. Towson scored 4 in a row and has built a 3-goal lead.
Maloof gets to the middle of the field here, left-handed. Able to shoot and finish this on the run. Take a look here again. Gets to the middle of the field. He's gonna see that full net. That's a tough shot on the run. Defender was in his hands a bit. Maybe we'd like to see a slide come there, especially when the guy gets beat to the middle of the field. But either way, nice play from Maloof, able to finish it again on the run with some pressure on his hands.
Grant Maloof did not play last year, as we told you earlier. He played in just 3 games as a freshman at Towson. Was a star in high school at South River High School. He won 2 Maryland State titles. He's got some winning pedigree. Looking to transition that into the college game with Towson. Certainly wish the best to his sister as well. Sarah Maloof plays for the Towson women's lacrosse team. You can catch the Lady Tigers in action tomorrow in the women's CAA tournament at James Madison. Got a 6-3 game here in Amherst between the Tigers and Blue Hens. Steve said it throughout the night, that zone D of Towson has really disrupted the flow for Delaware in this third frame.
Yeah, Delaware continues to try to dodge to it. You can't dodge the zone, because either way you go, there's always help and the next guy's coming. So it's not about dodging, it's not trying to beat that guy. It's about ball movement. And again, it's about getting guys to step out of their zone, try to open up some skip passes, ball movement, off ball movement, and guys trying to get to good spots. Can't dodge against the zone.
No goals for Charlie Kitchen. Sophomore from Wayne, New Jersey. Marlton, New Jersey, excuse me. Kitchen trying to make a move. He's got Wilkerson looking at him. Also Ewell, the long pole. Kick to Hirschman. 2.5 to play in the third. Again, the last goal for Delaware was with 8:16 left in the second. Kitchen with another poor shot. This is honestly mirroring what Ryan Tierney was doing in the first game for Hofstra as far as shot percentage here.
Yeah, just forcing some looks. And again, it's really the zone right now. That's really what's confused Delaware. Haven't really seen much of a plan against it.
7 shots for Kitchen already. Ryan Tierney for Hofstra took 7 as well. Towson's D plunking at it.
Now's your chance. You got two guys out. Taller man would have had it, but this goes over his head and it's a turnover. But right there's a situation where off of a ground ball, there's two Towson guys on one Delaware guy. It's about ball movement right off of the ground. Got to hook that pass up and catch them, again, out of their zone. But give credit to this Towson defense. They've done a nice job. They've settled in, and this zone is completely tricked and fooled this Delaware offense so far.
Well, the two members of that caused turnover were Goodrich and Calvin Livingston. He got the start against Fairfield. Livingston is a senior, number 1 for the Tigers. Sean Nadeline told us earlier this week he was the guy that was firing up the rest of the bench going to the fourth quarter against Fairfield when that game was tied 6-6. Towson barely squeaked into the tournament with that win over the Stags last weekend. "50 seconds to go in the third. Monahan sails it over his shoulder. Nice cut, fired across, and a score for Weiss. A beautiful time, Johnny Jafrida with his skip, and the freshman Weiss connects. 5 straight goals for the Towson Tigers.
And you said it, just a great skip pass there, right through the defense. Weiss able to get in that passing lane. Again, you're gonna take a look, good shot here, good view. And then Weiss just steps down and beats the goalie low on the way to Luca. Nice play from the Towson offense. Quick attacking. Just played a long possession defensively, go down and score. And now here's been the biggest problem for them. Delaware is just now what goes on to face-off X.
Johnny Jafrida with the assist. He had 2 goals and an assist the last time these two teams met. And Weiss had 2 assists himself, no goals, so his first goal this season against Delaware. So now the battle at X. Woodall's won 11 of 14. Lenscold and Hervada continue to take turns. 18 seconds. Can Towson build its lead on this final possession? Underneath with 8. Jafrida. They get it over to Sunday, aiming for his 4th goal, and the clock hits triple zeros here in the third. Sunday does have a hat trick. It's been part of this 5-goal run for the Tigers back to the middle stages of the second quarter. Delaware hasn't scored since the middle of the second, and the Tigers have a 4-goal lead, 1 quarter away from closing this game out and going back to the CAA title game. Come back for the 4th quarter here at Garber Field in Amherst. There is second-year CAA Commissioner Joe D'Antonio in the house. We spoke with him earlier tonight. Always great to see Joey D. Of course he's here, he's everywhere. The commissioner taking in the 2018 CAA Men's Lacrosse Tournament. 4th quarter coming up here, 7-3 lead for Towson. As you look back at Brendan's, well, excuse me, before we do so, Lax Sports Network's coverage of the CAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament underway tomorrow, Friday and Sunday for both games. At 4 o'clock tomorrow, top-seeded James Madison hosts Delaware, and then at 6:30, number 2 Towson takes on 3-seed Elon. Every game of the CAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament, so Friday and Sunday, are only on Lax Sports Network. Speaking of Sunday, it is Thursday during the week, but Brendan Sunday, that's his last name, of Towson, has a hat trick, and he got that scoring going on a 5-0 run right now.
Yeah, Sunday's been big for Towson's offense. It's really taken the ball in his stick. He's dodged. He's been the biggest threat to this Delaware defense. And again, he's been the one guy that offensively has really dominated his matchup. And again, getting to the spots on the field that he wants to, dictating to the defender where he wants to go. And he's done a nice job here today with 3 goals and help giving this Towson team this lead of 7-3.
Again, a player that was in and out of the starting lineup throughout the course of the season and has stepped up his game in tournament play. That's what you sign up for when you go to Towson. That's been the expectation now year after year. With a Final Four berth last season, multiple conference tournaments in a row, the precedent has been set. Final quarter of play. Towson with the ball. They've dominated possession.
Well, here's the problem. You know, obviously the face-offs haven't gone Delaware's way. And then by Towson playing that zone defense, the zone defense forces you to take long possessions and forces you to play extremely patient offensively. So what does that do? That runs the clock. So they're winning face-offs, they're taking long possessions on this end, and then defensively, they're running clock as well by playing a zone and make Delaware move the ball around and be extremely patient. So they're just absolutely putting the squeeze on Delaware right now, and Delaware's got to change some things up, got to get a couple of quick scores, maybe try to score in transition, and able to turn this, because right now Towson is doing exactly what they want to do.
It has a similar vibe to what UMass was doing to Hofstra in our first game, but UMass just has that approach in transition as well, where it's really right down your throat. Towson sort of does it seamlessly. That's what it feels like. We'll see how the quarter unfolds. Severo down to Sunday, who has 3 goals. Grant Maloof, 13, has 2. DeLuca with the key save, airs it out. Delaware looking to clear here. Peter St. Jem crosses the timeline. Delaware, again, the offense has not scored a goal since the midway point of the second. Kitchen, the conference's leading goal scorer with no goals tonight, 7 shots. Hirschman's done his part tonight up at the top. Can the supporting cast chip in a bit? Mark Beda, the freshman.
Towson going to that 5-on-5 look, locking off with their offensive midi, choosing to play 5-on-5 here. And that's another thing that Delaware really hasn't had an answer for either tonight in that 5-on-5 set.
In that set, they kept Wilkerson and Ewell and Livingston in deep to help protect Brennan. Quickly back the other way. Jafrida had it knocked out by Austin Haynes. One of the top players in the league at causing turnovers. The pole wants to go all the way down. Stopped on the brakes for a moment, and Delaware can set up. 12 minutes left in one of these teams' seasons.
5-on-5 here again. Towson locking the defensive midi from Delaware.
Yep, that's Sunday on Haynes. Off your screen to the right. Late flag as Hirschman went down. And that was Kobe Smith, who was the last player to make contact with him.
30-second foul.
Take a look here at the penalty. Dodging right-handed here, gets a little bit of a push from behind with possession. It's a good call. As soon as you extend your arms, if he would have got on his hip and maintained pressure, as soon as you extend your arms, you get that separation, the guy falls down. That's when they're gonna call it.
Today's head referee is John Hill, and just our second penalty of the game, as Delaware is on the man-up, last in the conference in man-up percentage. This is our first look of the Blue Hens man-up attack. Bounce shot from out deep. Brennan the stop. The shot coming from Isley. The rebound. Score, Delaware. Charlie Kitchen, we haven't called his name tonight. There he goes in to get the pot and pans. Scores. League leading 36th goal. It was a matter of time.
Take a look here. Make sure he keeps himself out of the crease. Good job on the ground ball. Looks good to me. As long as that ball crosses the goal line before anything lands in the crease. And that looks good to me. That's a good goal from Kitchen. Nice ground ball. And then again, nice finish there. Able to get that goal, get it across goal line extended before he, across goal line before he falls in the crease. So nice shot from Kitchen.
He was practically getting stampeded as he started the celebration. Makes it a 3-goal game. Kitchen, 18 goals in 6 CAA games. Took him 7 shots, but he finally got one. But another win at the X for Alex Woodall and the Tigers. If you did not join us earlier today, UMass, the top seed in this conference tournament, defeated Hofstra 10-6. Minutemen are in the title game for the 2nd straight year. And they're awaiting the winner of this one for Saturday at 1 o'clock. Nice wiggle room and a shot score. Towson comes right back. It's Jake McLean down the alley. 5 goals for the sophomore McLean this season.
Just another example of Delaware defensively just not having good approaches when you come out and guard the guy with the ball. Got to have a better approach there. Got to be on a better angle. And McLean does a nice job of recognizing the defenseman's out of position, goes right away. He's going before he even catches the ball. He knew exactly where he wanted to go, gets right-handed, and McLean sticks it. So nice play from Towson. And again, Delaware just finding themselves out of position defensively.
Plenty of room out in front for McLean. Comes from a hockey family. His dad, John, played hockey at Denver. Towson matched up earlier this season against the Pios, falling in overtime. Here's Woodall off the face-off win. Missed that one wide. Had a good look at it, though. We'll talk about deflation for Delaware. Kitchen getting the goal, and then right back, it's a guy who's only got 5 this year. Nothing against McLean, but just on a rebound and right out in front, had plenty of room to score. Under 10 minutes left now in regulation.
Towson settled back into that zone again. So look for a long possession from Delaware here unless they can find something quick, but haven't been able to all night to get anything quick against the zone defense.
Just mixing up their looks. Skip pass from Hirschman. And soared wide as DeSimone got the shot off. Dean DeSimone did score earlier. That was all the way back in the first goal for the Blue Hens tonight. In fact, 4 different goal scorers: Kitchen, Isley, Hirschman, and DeSimone. Isley's got the ball now. Dump, Kitchen, fired on. Brennan to stop initially on the rebound that almost got plowed in. Still loose in front. Wilkerson got it. And a flag comes in as the play moved on. John Hill, our head referee, will give us the call as Ben DeLuca is fired up for Delaware.
Cross check, 1 minute.
It's a cross check against Chad Patterson, defenseman for Towson.
1 minute cross
Second
check
look for
in
Delaware
violation to Towson, number 30,
on the
Chad
EMO.
Patterson at 9:09.
Probably a good spot to get a goal.
They could use one right now. Good opportunity here. 6 on 5. Take a look at the penalty. Gets him up high. Cross check right in the head.
Well done by Kitchen to stick with the play. It's a minute-long penalty. Beta, the skip. Bounce feed, shot. Shot by Bryce Reed. Yule chasing after it for Towson. Bryce Reed picks it back up. 35 seconds to work with on the man up.
Talked a lot about DeLuca here tonight in the goal, but give a lot of credit to Brennan. He's made a lot of saves. They've trusted him enough to go play zone in front of him, and let him see the ball from the outside, and trusting him to make the saves, and he's done a really nice job here tonight.
9 saves for the redshirt freshman, and the sophomore DeLuca has 12 saves. Little bluff, shot, and a score. Isley from distance. That hesitation move opened things up. Deficit cut to 3 for Delaware.
I think I jinxed Brennan. As soon as I said he was playing well, Isley rips one from the outside, but it was a nice shot from Isley. One of the better looks that Delaware's gotten here in the last,
I was just going to say, that
15,
might have been the best
20
look of the
minutes.
night.
Yeah, Take a look here. He's going to just step down. Towson's late to getting out to him. He's seen the whole net. Nobody's even trying to get out to him. So nice job from Isley. And Delaware needed that. Get it back to 3. Got to still try to figure out something to do here at this face-off X.
20 goals on the season for the junior Isley. Brennan has to jump out of the cage after the ground ball flung all the way down towards him.
Delaware going to a 10-man ride right now. Off of that face-off, trying to create some turnovers here, knowing that they're not going to win the face-off. 10-man ride, if you're not ready for it, can completely confuse you. It's like a press in basketball. They're going to take the long shot.
The Delaware sideline doesn't seem pleased. Something was not called their way. More than midway through the final quarter of CAA semifinal number 2. Towson's had balanced scoring. Sunday with a hat trick. Malouf's got 2 goals. They've dominated the X. Woodall's won 14 of 17. And as Steve mentioned a moment ago, despite that goal allowed by Shane Brennan, he's been pretty solid in cage. Severo making his move. Underneath to Jafrida. Ooh, bounces off the crossbar. Race for it, Monahan. Diving for the ball. Just a second late as Isley leaped over as well. 222's going after the ball, and the one in blue wins it.
Good heads-up play from Isley. Obviously sitting back on the offensive side, playing attack. Recognized that he was going to be closest to the ball, right on the sideline. He was already in position there. All he had to do was get there and slow down. Great job by Isley. Heads-up play from the attackman.
Something about that number 22 that we both know about.
Yes, we do.
Enough of that, I guess.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear about Syracuse.
6.5 to go here in the fourth. 8-5. Towson. Hirschman. Isley. Too much lift on that shot attempt. Feeling it. Sure they won't give him that much room again after before. Kitchen retracts after losing it momentarily. DeSimone has Kobe Smith up top, watching him closely. Jackson Finnegan, captain, 2 in the blue. First look we've seen him on offense. 3-time captain for the Blue Hens. Kitchen with a fake step in. Now it's Hirschman running the point. Has it back. And a turnover by Delaware.
Same story. It's that zone. That zone has confused Delaware. It's forced them to take long possessions when they're down in a game and they can't really win a face-off. And it's caused them to have turnovers. I think guys are starting to get a little frustrated with it, especially knowing that the clock is running and they're down. It's going to force them into even tough passes, but here's an opportunity.
Oh, it goes down for Kitchen. What a play. Brennan late to get back in cage, and Kitchen makes him pay for it. In this case, you got to stay in the kitchen.
Stay in the kitchen.
And he didn't do so.
Huge play for Delaware right here. We just talked about how their offense has struggled in the 6-on-6 against this Towson zone, and I said it before, they're gonna have to find other ways to score, whether it's in transition or off of a turnover. Right there, he was trying to make the pass, then once he realized it was a defender, he tried to pump fake it, tried to bring back that ball, bring back that pass. It was too late. It's kind of like a check swing in baseball, already went all the way around, and Kitchen's able to pick it up and throw it into the empty net. So huge momentum swing for Delaware right there. Much needed goal, and again, they got to find other ways to score because 6-on-6 has been a struggle.
That's one way to do it. Fortunate, best way to put it. Woodall won the initial draw, but on the wing, St. Jem pulls away. Freshman from San Francisco, helping out in the midfield. Peter St. Jem. Ty Zanders ranked him in his top 100 freshman coming into the season. Showing up big in a conference tournament semifinal. Under 5 minutes left, 2-goal game. Delaware trailing with the ball. Hirschman and Isley play catch. Kitchen's got it now far side. Kitchen makes his fake. Beat it to Isley. DeSimone, 13, hanging out in front. Working his way inside the box.
Big spot here. If Delaware can come away with a goal, starts to put even more pressure on Towson, maybe they tighten up a little bit. Got some momentum going here, so this is a huge, huge possession for this Delaware offense.
Just missed wide. Hirschman with another shot attempt. 4:15 left in regulation. UMass awaits the winner of this one for Saturday's title game. Patience here from Kitchen. Drawing the double. Hirschman to the door. Isley, score! We've got a 1-goal game in Amherst.
That's the best that offense has looked all night long against this zone. Ran their offense perfectly against the zone. It's about ball movement, carrying the ball, throwing it back to where you just came from, getting that defense to rotate, and again, taking them out of their zone. Watch this. He's gonna send it down. That's the end of the play, but it was set up with some good offense, good ball movement. Right here, you're gonna take a look. Guys just moving the ball, getting guys coming out to play him, and then that step right there, those 2-3 steps was the whole difference in that offense, creating that angle. Really nice job, and that's what they need to do offensively. And this face-offs have been huge now for Delaware, 2 in a row.
Haynes wins it on the wing. Even the fake there by Hirschman was excellent. Just a couple steps in to flip it off to Isley.
Well, Delaware is doing exactly what I don't understand why a lot of people don't do. You go against a dominant face-off guy, you put your long pole out there, and you tell him, don't even try to win the face-off. Don't even go down, don't clamp the ball, don't do anything. Wait for him to pull it out, beat him to the spot, and try to make it a 50-50 ground ball or win it yourself, depending on where he pulls it. That's what Delaware has done here in the last 2, and they've been able to win them.
1-goal game with about 3 minutes left. Delaware needs 1 more to tie it. Can they knock off the reigning champs? Isley underneath. They're going to keep Finnegan on the field behind cage. On the doorstep, Kitchen. Feed to Beta. Isley has had the hot hand. DeSimone looking for an edge now. Hirschman, oh my goodness! An absolute rocket to tie the score at 8. You tell me how that one went in. Timeout, Ben DeLuca. He's fired up. And so are his Blue Hens.
And you could feel the momentum. It's been swinging for the last few minutes, and it's completely on Delaware's side right now. Towson had this game all but locked up. They were dominating face-offs, dominating possession time. Offense was flowing, but now Delaware's come back, won some face-offs. The offense is starting to move the ball well right here, right-handed, no angle. And Brennan's he's got to be covering that pipe. You've got to take away near side, especially against a righty shooter from that spot. You've got to be all over that pipe, make him try to go far side. But Hirschman does a nice job. Not sure where, like you said, I'm not sure how he fit that in there, especially right-handed with no angle. It was a beautiful shot. 8-8, 2:28 left. CAA final berth on the line. What else could you ask for?
Well, speaking of the final, Towson's trying to get back there for a 4th straight season. Let's look at the Tigers from last year. Tyler Young was the spark early for the Tigers. Again, they went on to go all the way to the Final Four a season ago. So a loss today would certainly be a huge upset for the Tigers. Tyler Young got things started. This was about a year ago now. UMass's Dan Muller had a goal. Minutemen are there this year. Grant Consoletti had a score for UMass. Matt Hoy was the starter in cage. There's an impressive save down to his knee. And then how about Joe Sider, who was an exceptional offensive player with Ryan Drenner. Towson went to the to the NCAA tournament. Again, defeated Penn State, defeated Syracuse, met up with Ohio State, and fell in the Final Four. While most of that crew is not here, they graduated 11 seniors from last year's team. This would be an upset. Delaware was picked to finish last in this conference, and they haven't been to this tournament in 4 years. Towson with a big win. Goodrich fires and missed it wide.
Now's where DeLuca, we talked about him all night. He's the young goalie of this conference. This is where he's got to step up. He's going to see a shot eventually. Going to have to make a save, come up big, keep this game tied up, and give his offense another possession. He's going to be called upon eventually. He's going to have to make a big save here.
13 saves for the sophomore. We talked about Towson's 5-0 run that went over the second and third quarters. Well, in this fourth quarter, it's 5-1 Delaware.
And that's the save we were just talking about. Goes down low and gets it. Look for Coach DeLuca to call timeout here eventually. Huge possession. He's got 2 left.
This was an 8-4 game with 8.5 minutes to go. We are tied at 8 with 90 seconds left. Delaware hasn't been in the CAA title game in 7 seasons. And what we said from the top was Towson's been here before. They've got experience. Hirschman's taking his time. He has the pick from Finnegan. Now it's Bryce Reed. Minute to play.
Come on, Jackson.
Reed through traffic. Timeout. Ben DeLuca and Delaware.
Your time, bud.
Timeout, Delaware.
Hey, don't forget, Saturday is the CAA Men's Tournament Championship. The tournament concludes Saturday on Lax Sports Network. Coverage gets underway at 12:30 p.m. Eastern with a Lacrosse Now pregame show, and then find out who will earn the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament when LSN brings you live coverage of the CAA Championship game. That's 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Myself and Steve Panarelli will be with you as we have another look at the bracket. UMass got the win earlier today, 10-6. Hofstra did fight in the fourth to make it a close game, and UMass just pulled away. They were tremendous in goal out of Scanoni. They had a great scoring game out of Buddy Carr, who scored another 2 goals, 2 assists. They held Ryan Tierney scoreless on the Hofstra side, and this game had a similar feel. Start of the fourth, would Delaware make a run? And as I mentioned a moment ago, down 8-4. About halfway through, they went on a 4-goal run, and this game is tied. You got to remember back too when Brennan left the cage and Kitchen got his second goal of the night.
Yeah, that was a turning point. But even with that goal, it's been about just the whole game has changed. I mean, Towson was dominating faceoffs. Delaware's been there now. You take a look here at this goal right here. Just steps down, beats him near side. But again, it's really been the faceoffs, and it's been Delaware figuring out this zone defense a little bit and getting some momentum. I mean, it's literally the whole game is completely flipped from where it was.
50 seconds, Delaware ball. 8-8 hours is our score. Woodall 16 of 20 at the X. All right, here we go. 40 seconds. Gray Bowden matched up on Hirschman. Wilkerson on DeSimone. Ewell has the assignment of Kitchen.
I'd like to see them go a little bit earlier here against the zone. You need as much time as you can. Gotta go.
Hirschman to Isley. That's been his bread and butter today. 8 to shoot here for Delaware. The shot clock is on. From behind. Reed with a tough attempt, still 10 seconds. Kitchen to feed it here. He'll throw it away as the shot clock dwindles. Livingston airs it out, but prior to that,
8 seconds on the clock.
we have to adjust the clock, it looks like.
Every second counts right now.
We learned our lesson last year.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I was thinking the same thing.
10 seconds.
He scores from here. Be the greatest goal in lacrosse history.
We said that last year too, didn't we? This is Calvin Livingston with the ball. Gets it over midfield. Bounces, knocked out by Haynes. 4 seconds. Staying with Towson. They look to feed here with a little bit of time left. Intended for Goodrich. And the pass misses wide. That means we need overtime here at Amherst.
It is Towson 8, Delaware.
Only fitting the way this one closed. Delaware goes on a 4-0 run over the final 8 minutes and change to tie this score. The reigning champs, they aren't going to the title game just yet. This Delaware team hung
Face off of overtime.
Both of these teams took part in overtime games this year. Towson has one win in overtime. That was against Ohio State. Lost in overtime to Denver. The Blue Hens lost in double overtime to Binghamton earlier in the season.
And I think you got to call a timeout there if you're Coach DeLuca. You got your long pole against the sideline. A lot of pressure on them. It's overtime. Every possession is critical. Got to save that possession. Call the timeout there. Give your offense a chance. Now you're playing defense.
Win or go home, it's sudden death. 8-8 is our score. A bid to the CAA title game is at stake. Chetner with Duff defending. Chetner the feed. Severo the score! Towson's going back to the CAA championship game.
Towson goal scored by number 12, Matt Severo, his 12th of the season. He is assisted by number 55,